Welcome everybody to, it looks like the 42nd live stream of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration series, where we're going out and we're configuring Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations from the ground up. So we started from a blank system and we've set up all of the financials, and now we're getting to the good stuff, which is supply chain management. So just before we start off, I don't know whether you all know this, but everything that I'm working through, and this is back to front for some reason, everything that I'm working through is actually in this in the supply chain management guide that I have, and this is just to give you an idea. This is how much content we've got to get through in supply chain, and this is where we are. So we're actually right at the beginning of this process, and this is going to be, I think this is going to be super fun because I like supply chain management. So we're working through this, and for those of you that haven't been here before, we're doing this by working through all the actual steps we have inside of the bare bones configuration guides that I've created. So in this case, where if I go to the documentation, we're actually working through this step by step, just as you would if you were going through and doing this in tandem or by yourself in your own Dynamics 365 environment, or a advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 lab that we can offer you. And we're working through, right now we're working through all the products. So we're going out and we're, in the previous 2 live streams, what we did is we created some release products. We worked through that using the controls that we set up. And in the last live stream, what we did is we imported in the products. So we went out and used the data management to create a template so that we can import in these products. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to just do something a little bit different, and we're going to go out and set up some service items. So up until now, the products that we created up were tangible. They were physical items. There were sacks and barrels and backpacks. So now let's see how we go out and just experience how we set up a service item in the system. So let's move in and let's work through this and see how we can do that. So we're here within the lab, and let me go full screen so that you can see the whole area. So we're inside the lab, and we're inside the Waterdeep Trading Company, and we're going to go out and create the product just the same way as we did for the tangible products, so the physical products, but we're just going to turn this into a service item. So we're going to go over and we're going to, we could do a search, and we could find all release products. So we're going to go out and release product. So we can go out and we can do a search here, but there's actually more. Let me go down here. There's more items than we need, or maybe it's just release products we're trying to look up. Yeah, it's release products. So we want to find the release products, and there's a whole slew of different places that you can maintain them. They all go to the same area. But or we can go to the menu, and I go into product information management is the main area that I go into. And you can see here that we've got a release products menu item. And I talked in the previous live streams about that if you're doing this the proper way, then maybe you want to create a master, or maybe you want to create a product and then release the item down to the company. We're not going to do that. We're going to do this the easy way in the system. So that's going to take us over here to the release product details. Something that I might look at, we can actually go to the released product maintenance workspace as well. And we can create a released product from here as well. So we can see all the recently released products. This will show us our barrel and our sack and our backpack. Or we can click on the recently released items, and it's going to take us to the same screen. So multiple ways to thread the way to get to the same area. So to create a service item, then we just go new, and it's going to just give us the same information that we had before in the system. The difference is that we're just going to say, I want to create a service item instead of an item. And this is going to be a product. It's interesting that we could have a product master, and so that means we could have dimensional service items, which I haven't really looked into. Maybe I should make a note on that, because we're going to look at dimensional products in a little bit, and I've never really thought about creating dimensional service items. And then also there's no subtype that we've got here. Now I've got some items here that that I've had the system sort of suggest for me, and the one that I've got in the documentation is let me see. It was actually for an astral spell. So let's go out, and I'm just trying. Let's do the scroll copy. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a service, and the Waterdeep Trading Company offers the ability for someone to transcribe scrolls, which seems pretty cool, and it's good enough for me. So for this, so we're going to have the product name is going to be scroll copy, and I'm not going to have the page in there, but I can go out and I can, for the product name, I'm going to say this is scroll copy. Copying. I'm trying to work out how to spell copying. And the search name is going to be it's going to be a service, and then we'll do the scroll copy here as the search name, and we'll go out and we'll change the search name down here. So maybe we could have other options here, which would be scroll notarization, scroll services, or anything else we may want to do. And so let's go out, and I don't think we're not going to store this anywhere. So we don't have storage groups. We don't track this because this is a service. We just do the service for people. And what we're going to do is we're not going to choose an inventory unit because we don't have any inventory of this. And what we're going to do is we can choose the purchase unit. Now, I'm going to say that I'm going to do something here. Let me see if I've got. Let's go out and just create this here. And for a page, then this is going to be the retail price is 2.52. Sales price that we have here is 2.52 Faerûnian standard dollars. So looking at the conversion, that's about 2 Faerûnian silver pieces per page. So let's go and create this. Let's see if it works. Because the units weren't showing up, but that's fine. And let's go. So we're going to go to all. So now we've got our scroll copying service, and we can go out and we can add an image here. But we don't have a unit. And what was popping up as it was asking for the conversion or the convertible sort of unit measure, and I want all of these. But I don't have anything here for per page. So I could have, I could go out and use the unit of measure here. And let's go down to the sales unit of measure. And I could say this is per each, which seems relatively straightforward. Or what I can do is I can go into the details. And I'm going to create a new unit of measure here. And I'm going to say per page. And I might do pp for per page. And this is a quantity unit. And I can go out and create this this unit. Now, also what I can do is I can go and create a conversion here, just in case someone uses eaches. And I could say from pages to eaches is actually a one-to-one conversion. And so what? Even though I want to sell this per page, if someone goes in and types in each for the unit, then that's fine. That's fine with me. And we could also go out and we could have additional conversions. We could have like a manuscript, or maybe we could have a. I can't really think of anything, so I'll stop rambling around that. But I can now say that this per page, the unit, the cost of this is $2.52. Now, if we go out and if we purchase this service, then what we can do is we can go out and we can actually do this from, we could get a service provider to do this if we externally source or if we outsource the scroll conversion or copying, and we could say that's $1.68. So we can purchase it. We could purchase that service for $1.68, but we're going to sell it for $2.52 Faerûnian cents. And that's pretty much all we need to do, because for a product, we don't have any other items that are here, and we also haven't set up any costing associated with it, and we will never have any costing. I won't say never. I don't think we'll have costing associated with a service item. It's always going to be a standard item. So now that we've saved that, then we're pretty much done. That's how we go out and create a scroll service or a non-inventoried service in the system. Now, also let's add another one. And if I wanted to create a new service, and I just go through the same thing, and I'm going to say that this is going to be a service, and the service is going to be armor repair, and that's going to be service armor repair. And the purchase unit is going to be let's say per hour. Let's see if I've got hour here. So that's interesting. I haven't got hour here either. So let's go and leave that as it is. And the purchase price for the armor repair is going to be outsourced. It's going to be 5.6 Faerûnian standard dollars, and for us to do it for selling it, it's going to be $8.40. No inventory price. And then we're going to go over here and go into the details. And again, we don't have anything here for day, which I missed out. So let's add for hour. And this is going to be a time unit of measure. And now I can go out and I can choose hour here for the purchase price, and I can also do hour for the sales order. So as you can see, as we go out and create more of these items, then all of the the auxiliary information like the unit of measures is sort of going to flesh themselves out as we work through that. So now that we've done that, I've got a little bit of extra time, and I'm going to show I'm going to move on to one more step in the training and show you how we can create a product template. And these are, let me go back to the release products. So now if we look at our release products, we've got armor repair, we've got scroll copying, we've got a barrel, we've got a sack, and we've got a backpack. And, and if I go back over here to the server, we can actually see the products that we've got. Now, if we're going out and creating other items that are similar to this, then what we can do is we can go and create a template. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go out and create a template for a type of product, and then go and create some more products along the way. So this is, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose something that I've got here, like the backpack. And this is going to be the template that I use for all of my new items. So here we've got our backpack, and I've just selected this. And what I can say is I'm going to go out and say I want to create a template here. And I can say I want to create a shared or a personal template. And even though we're a small organization right now and there's only one person at the Waterdeep Trading Company going out and do this, I'm going to create a shared template that everybody can use. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this template. And I'm going to say create this for storage items. So this is my general group for storage. And then I'm just going to say, okay. So that's all we need to do in order to create a template. So now that we've gone out and created the template, we're going to move through a new product based off this template. Let me see what's next. Okay, so we'll show some other things in just a second. But now say, for example, if I wanted to go out and create like a wicker basket, then all I need to do is I go back here to the sack, or let's create a wicker basket. Then I can say I want to create a new product, and this is going to be an item. But what I have now is I've got the supply template. So we could have blank, which is just the standard default plain Jane product that we set up, or I can say this is a storage item. And notice that it automatically fills in location, the tracking dimension, the inventory units are already there, and also some of the purchase prices. So now I can go out and I can say this is a wicker basket, and this is going to be basket wicker, and then the search code is going to be, or the search name is going to be storage basket wicker, because that's the hierarchy that I've got. And then I'm going to say that this is the purchase price is $2.10 for a wicker basket, and then $3.15 to sell, and then we're going to store this in inventory at 2.1 Faerûnian standard dollars. And now I can go out and I can create that. And now I have I've got a new product here. Let me see if I've got a image for a wicker basket. We actually do have a image for a wicker basket. So I'm going to change this and I'm going to upload an image. I'm going to browse to this. I'm going to copy the wicker basket that we've got. So let me just copy this, paste it into the images. And this is for the wicker. It's for the wicker basket. And now I've got a product image here for the wicker basket that I can use for all of my marketing and so forth. So now if I save this and return back, now we've got, I can actually see that we've now got the wicker basket, we've got the barrel, we've got the backpack. So we've got everything lining up here in the system. So the final thing that we're going to do here is as we move through. So we've gone out and now we could go out and we can create more items here inside the description. But also what we can do is we can go out and we can do some editing in the grids. And we sort of did this in the previous live stream. So if you notice, I can go to my pricing view here and make a change. But, oh, sorry, which I'll show you in a second. But what I can, let's see what I did. But say, for example, we want to go out and do some other adjustments to this. Then we can again go out and personalize this item. Now, something that we can do is go to here. Is I can go out and I can say I want to add a column, and say, for example, some fields that we may want. We could go out and we could add the buyer group to this. Let's see. We could add all the units here. So just like we added the pricing, I can go in and add the purchase, the sales, and the inventory unit of measure. Then just add that to the view. So now if we go out and if I look at this view, then what we'll see, again, we'll see the units showing up here, and I can hide these additional columns that I don't want. So let's keep the product type this time. But we'll get rid of the dimensions just for now. And then we could say that this is, we could save this as a purchasing view. And now I can swap between these at any time. So I could go from this to the pricing view that we saw before to the purchasing view and see all these items sort of change along the way. Now, we don't have any buyer groups, so we can't go and make any changes. And something else that I'll show you before we finish today is that just one thing here, we can go out and we can actually make any changes that we want here inside of the table rather than going directly into the main details. So that's really the benefit of making a change here. Now, one final thing before we finish, something that I'm looking at that I don't like is I should actually have a comma here from the armor repair, or maybe it should be repair armor. So which sort of makes a little bit more sense. Or from the scroll, the action that I'm doing is copying. So maybe there should be a comma there. Now, when we go out and when we look at this, we'll notice that we can't modify the product name. And that's because the product name is managed at the product level, which is the parent level, not down at the company level in this case. So if we want to go out and if we want to modify that, then I can go out and I can go into the product, which is going to take me to that parent level for the product details. And I'm going to say scroll, comma, copying. And then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to say here, let me just go down to ChatGPT. So I'm just going to go out and I'm going to create. I'm going to add some notes here to make this a little bit more useful. So it's giving us a little bit more information that we need. But I'm going to now go back to my server, and I'm going to add this into the description. So we've now got a more detailed description showing up here of the product. And if I save this and then return back to the main record, and if I do a refresh, then now the product name is correct. I can change the search name if I want to for my company. And also we've got a description that's showing up that we can go out and we can use for our reports and some other items as well. So that was two different ways that we can go out and we can modify the product as well. So what we're going to do is we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, and we've gone through quite a bit. In the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the product configuration, and it looks like we're going to do some updates to this. We're going to use Excel, and then possibly move on to the next onto the next item in this series, which is starting with the configuration of dimensional products. So for those of you that haven't sort of seen dimensional products, then this is a really interesting sort of topic for us to work through. So with that said, if anyone has any questions or has any comments, then don't hesitate to go out and add them to the comment stream, either on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on where you're going out and viewing this. If you want to support this project, then you can go to the Patreon site. It's patreon.com/ADND365. Every copper piece helps keep the servers and the lights on here at the Waterdeep Trading Company. And if you want to get the PDF versions of the bare bones configuration guides, and this is the consolidated version, then you can go to adnd365.com/start, and you can actually see all that content, and you could go through this yourself, which I personally think is a really fun exercise in learning dynamics, and even myself just doing it, I think it's pretty darn fun too. So that said, all we'll do is we'll close off for today, and I hope this was interesting, and watch out for the next live stream, which should be coming in real time, possibly next week, and we'll get more into the product definitions and how you set up products and all of those cool things. So I'll see you on the flip side.